Artificial intelligence feels sudden, like we crossed a threshold overnight. But if you step back, what you see is not a rupture. It is a pattern, a long rhythm between technology and how human beings learn to understand it. This video is about where we are in that cycle. Human development moves through two loops. Loop 1 is technology. It expands what we can measure, store, transmit, and control. Loop 2 is meaning. It is how we interpret the world, build identity, coordinate socially, and decide what matters. These two loops do not grow together in a smooth line. They take turns. One expands, then the other adapts. And right now, they are out of sync. Before language, before writing, nature was the system. Hunger, climate, seasons, predators, and scarcity formed the first great regulatory environment. That was Loop 1. But humans did not just react to those conditions. They interpreted them. They tracked patterns, learned migration cycles, refined hunting strategies, and adapted their behavior to shifting environmental signals. Even before language, humans were already building structured responses to feedback. The first major breakthrough was not writing. It was coordinated adaptation. Then came language. Language is often treated as culture, but structurally, it is also technology. It allows internal states to become shared signals. Fear, trust, loyalty, intention, grievance, hope, all of these can now be expressed, transmitted, and interpreted by others. Inner life becomes socially visible. That changes everything. Human beings can coordinate at a far higher level. Stories merge. Myths emerge. Group identity expands. Culture stabilizes around shared meanings. Language dramatically expands Loop 2 because it gives human beings a much more powerful way to represent and coordinate their experience. Then came writing. Speech disappears, writing remains. For the first time, thought can persist across time. Memory becomes more durable. Meaning can survive the body. But writing does more than preserve information. It allows thought to become an object of reflection. A person can think something, write it down, return to it later and examine from a distance. That is a profound shift. Writing makes reflection stronger. It enables human beings not just to think, but to think about their own thinking. That is where philosophy, law, theology, and eventually science begin to deepen in scale. Then came measurement. Science formalized observation, industry scaled it. Time became standardized, process became measurable, variation became analyzable. Systems became increasingly optimizable. Loop 1 grew more precise, more disciplined, and more powerful. This is the long arc of operational development. But as this happened, something else began to happen as well. Optimization started to outpace understanding. Systems became very good at achieving goals, even when the goals themselves were unclear, shallow, or misaligned. In other words, our capacity to regulate performance advanced faster than our capacity to reflect on performance. Now we arrive at artificial intelligence. AI is not just another tool. It combines language, writing, memory, and computation into a single interactive system. It does not merely store information, it responds. You cannot ask a book a follow-up question, but you can ask AI. That matters because it changes the structure of thought itself. It gives us a new kind of externalized cognition, one that is not static like writing, but interactive like dialogue. In that sense, AI extends the long pattern we have been tracing. It is a new Loop 1 expansion that reaches directly into the territory of reflection, interpretation, and conceptual work. But here is the crucial point. AI does not define purpose. It does not experience consequence. It does not decide what ultimately matters. It optimizes within the parameters we provide, which means the responsibility comes back to us. If AI expands technical capacity, then human beings must expand interpretive capacity. If AI accelerates execution, then human beings must become more disciplined about judgment. If AI gives us more power, then we need more clarity, more ethical maturity, and better governance. For centuries, we have been refining, Loop 1. We have built systems of measurement, efficiency, optimization, standardization, and computational power. But now the central constraint is shifting. The bottleneck is no longer just information processing. It is judgment. It is direction. It is the ability to decide what these systems should actually be for. That is where we are. We are at a familiar turning point in a long co-evolution between technology and mind. Loop 1 has advanced. Now Loop 2 has to catch up. The future depends on whether it does.